All right, we're going to go ahead and do a review activity 7.1 here in this case. So as we're taking a look at it, we've got the drawing up. The first question asks which of the three dimension terms, height, width, or depth, are represented by each of the following dimensions. And we're given dimensions A, B, C, D, E, and so on. So as we take a look at this, now this really isn't any different than our other views. So when we're taking a look at it, we know that in the front view we are seeing width and height, and the top view we're seeing width and depth. In the side view we would typically be seeing depth and height, and then the auxiliary views are projected off of it. So this view, we're given a front view right here, and then we were given three partial auxiliary views where they basically kind of cut away and give us a partial auxiliary view here, and we need to kind of represent and recognize that. So as we take a look, dimension A here is showing us the width of this bracket. Dimension B right here is kind of showing you the thickness, or what we would refer to in this case using our terms, height. So now we typically would refer to the height as the overall height of this part, but we understand that this part has thickness to it. So if we're really looking at a sheet of flat stock, that thickness of the stock would be shown right here in B, and that would be our height. C is coming over to here, so this is a partial auxiliary view, and we can see now that this shows us our depth. So same thing with D. D is also showing the depth, and E is also showing the depth. So we've gotten, in this particular drawing, we see the width and height in the front view, and then we are seeing depth in the other three views as well. So let's go on to number 2. If a normal right side view would have been shown to the right of the front view, what geometric shape would describe the appearance of hole H? Well, and as we would project over here, we would know that that hole would actually look like an ellipse or be an elliptical shape, so that would be the answer to number 2. As we look at questions 3 through 10, it's asking us to check whether it's T for top view, F for front, or A for auxiliary to indicate which view meets the stated criteria. Number 3 says shows the true height of hole F. So first off, we're going to look for hole F. Right here is hole F. So we see it here, and we see it up in this view here as well. Now, it's asking us for the true height. Now, that to me is kind of a little confusing because we don't necessarily refer to height in terms of a hole. So we typically refer to a hole as how deep it goes or the diameter size, but we don't really refer to it as height. So what this is really kind of getting at is where do you see the height? And again, we see the height of the hole. Notice this is a through hole, so we would really talk about it as being a through hole. And the depth of that through hole is shown to us here in the front view. So the true height of hole F is shown in the front view. Number 4, look straight through hole H. So first we have to kind of find where is hole H. All right, well, hole H is right here. And if we're looking straight through it, that's looking over here. So that is one of our auxiliary views where we're looking straight through hole H. Then it asks, look straight through hole G. So where is hole G? Here is hole G. And as we project up, we can say, all right, well, as we rotate that part around into our partial auxiliary view up here, we see that and we would be looking straight through it in the auxiliary view. Now notice this would also be a top view, and this could be shown as a top view except for the hole would be cut out by this bend in the bracket on that side. Notice how that kind of cuts in and interferes with each other, or it's pretty much in alignment with each other. So this is one of the reasons why they've done the partial auxiliary view here. But so we are looking straight through hole G in the auxiliary view. Question number 6 asks us to shows the axis-to-axis distance from hole 8 or hole F to hole G. So the axle-to-axle distance from hole F to hole G. So, well, we can see a distance between those here in the front view. So, and as we take a look at that, we can also see the axial difference up here in the auxiliary view shown up here. So this one actually has two answers. We can see this both in the front view and in the top view up here as well, in our top partial view. All right, number 7 shows a depth location for hole J. So let's go ahead and let's find hole J. All right, so right here is hole J. So, and what is the depth location again? So, well, again, the depth location would be the distance from the center. So, we're going to see that over here in the auxiliary view. And again, we would be referring to this as a depth from one of the sides. So because we're seeing the depth here, we would also see the location from one edge to the other in the depth view. So that for number 7 is an auxiliary view. Number 8 shows the true shape of the inclined surfaces. Shows the true shape of the inclined surfaces. So, well, again, as we take the true shape of the inclined surface, so when we're talking about the actual inclined surface, so we have an inclined surface here and an inclined surface here. So the only place we're going to see the true shape for those is in the auxiliary view. So here's the true shape of this one, and here is the true shape of this side there. So number 9 shows the true angle between the inclined surfaces and the horizontal surfaces. What shows the true angle between the inclined surfaces and the horizontal surfaces? Well, again, that's going to be right here in the front view. This is the only view that we can really see what the true angle is of these inclined surfaces. Lastly, number 10 asks to show the depth location difference between hole F and hole G, if any. So, well, and again, this kind of goes through, both of these are through holes, so they go all the way through the material. So, but in this case, if we're talking about the depth of the hole, or shows a difference of one hole going any deeper into a part than another, what we're really talking about here is the top view. So a depth location, this is where, if we're talking about the depth of the hole, that's going to be shown here. But they're talking about the depth location. So when we're talking about the depth, so the location of that hole, where does that hole, is that hole located on this particular part? Well, we can't really see that location in this view, so we have to go up to the top auxiliary view here. So this top auxiliary view actually would show us the depth, what's referred to as the depth location. So that is the top view, auxiliary view here in this, and that concludes and finishes review activity 7-1.